Hi guys. So today we'll be discussing about the method and constructor reference. Okay. So what are method reference and what are constructor references and why it came into picture? So basically we have learned about lambda expression, right? So in lambda expression, what we used to do, we just do the expression mechanism with the help of functional programming where we are creating one interface. Okay. And we are creating one implementation class which implements that interface. And then we can do it with the help of just one braces and then one arrow, and in one line you can write all the logic. Instead of creating the method again and again, you can just write with the help of one single line you can write, and with the help of arrow symbol where the entire method can be replaced with one single line, and it is anonymous because we are not writing any specific method name. We are not giving any specific method name. There is no requirement of access specifier, access modifier, or method name. Nothing is required here. Okay, so that's why it is very much beneficial. So method reference is nothing but it's a synonym for lambda expression only. So lambda expression can be replaced with method reference. So both can be used alternatively. Okay. So let's suppose anywhere you are not comfortable with lambda expression, so you can write your own method reference for that. And if you're not comfortable with method reference, you can write lambda expression for that. So there is no hard and fast rule that lambda expression only has to be used. No, it can be replaced with method reference as well. But my question is, what is method reference then? From the name itself, we will get to know method reference means it will refer to a specific method which is already written. Let's suppose there is a requirement to add two numbers or subtract two numbers. Okay, so you did addition of two numbers. Now let's suppose the same addition needs to be done in multiple methods. So what you will do? Will you do the same addition logic again and again? Will you write? No, right? It's not feasible to write the same logic again and again. So how will that be if you just refer the existing logic which is written in the already existing method with the help of method reference? So basically, with the help of method reference, you can directly point it out. Like this method you can make use of, and then you can write this addition logic. So all the new methods which is coming in future, so you can refer them to the already existing method. So let's suppose there are 3-4 methods already written in the existing business requirement, and there are few more requirements coming to the picture. Okay, and so that requirements again make use of addition subtraction logic only, which is already written. So will you write the same logic again? No, right? So you can directly refer to the existing method, that go to that method and calculate the addition of two numbers and then come back again. So for that type of features, you can make use of method reference. Okay, so their method reference is very much helpful. There will be code reusability, which is very much important. Boilerplate code will be removed. Lambda expression also helps to remove boilerplate code, but the main thing is code reusability. You don't need to write any new implementation for that again and again. So one method will be written, so all other methods will directly refer to that method for the existing logic. So if one logic will not be duplicated again and again, so that will be resolved with the help of method reference. So let's come to the code and then we will see. So method reference can be shown with the help of double colon operator. Okay, with the help of double colon operator, we can understand the method reference. So it is basically used for code reusability. Okay, and the arguments of the method should be same for method reference to work. This is most important thing. Okay, the arguments which you are passing in the interface, here you will first have the interface, and interface need the arguments, and that arguments should match with that method which you are creating in the code. You will be writing business logic for that interface method, right? That because that is abstract, body is not there, so you will write an implementation class for that interface. So when you are giving the implementation, then when you are trying to refer another method to the existing method, then you have to make sure that the interface abstract method arguments should match with the logic which you are referring to the method. Okay, so if number of arguments will not match, then how will you be assuring that that method only is called? Then method reference will not work there. Okay, so that we have to take care of, and rest of the thing can be changed. Okay, and it's alternate to lambda function. So let's come back to the code to understand this. So here in method reference, what we did, we have created one interface first. We have created one own interface, and I've created one abstract method M1. Okay, so it is taking two arguments. So two arguments, so they can do anything. You can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, anything of your own choice you can do with these two numbers. So for that, what we have to do, we will learn. Okay, so for that, what we did, we came to method reference. Okay, in method reference, we have created our own M2 method. Okay, so one method is written where it is calculating the sum of two numbers. Here, if you see, it is written M2 method is used for method reference and sum is equal to A plus B. It is doing the addition of two numbers here. Then we are writing the main method. Here in main method, what we are writing? Here with the help of lambda expression. So I will tell you how lambda expression can be replaced with method reference. So stay tuned for that. So here in lambda expression, here we are passing two arguments A comma B, and then we are printing the sum of two numbers. Like that we used to do, right? In addition and subtraction or any other thing, with the help of lambda function, we can do like this. Okay. And then we can just, with the help of reference, we are calling the M1 method and we are passing this value 6 and 4. So it will calculate the sum of two numbers, because basically it is calculating the sum, it is printing here, and it is taking the numbers. For numbers to take, to which all numbers I have to add, it is 6 and 4, it is taking M1 method. And internally it is going inside this and it is calculating the sum. But have you observed one thing here? Just try to observe here. I have created one M2 method. Here sum equal to A plus B is already written. Can't we make use of this method? Will it be possible that I make use of this method to calculate the sum? Why we are writing the method? Why we are writing the addition of two numbers again and again? The same logic we are writing again and again, right? Like A plus B. Again, if we create a new reference, again we have to do A minus B. If suppose one method is already written for that, then why we have to write the same logic again and again? So why can't we refer to the existing method, go and make use of the existing method to calculate the addition or subtraction? Can we make use of that? Yes. So in lambda function, we can do that. Okay, we can refer to that existing method to go and calculate the sum. So how can we do that? We can just remove this. Okay, can just comment it down here, and we will make use of it for understanding. And here what we can do method reference class. We will make use of this class, and this is a static method. So there are two things here. One is static and one is non-static. So if the method is static, then we can directly access through class, right? So method reference : M2. Okay. So here this is also not required. Lambda function not required. Then, so now if I run it, the output will be 10. Okay. So if I don't run this, if I run this, still you will see the output will be same, 10. Because here we are not printing, right? We are just doing the addition here. So that's why it is not going inside this method. So actually the logic is running same only. The addition of two numbers only it is happening. But it is happening in a different way. While we are doing method reference, it is pointing to this class, and within this class, it is pointing to this method. And whatever this method is doing, it is replicating the same logic here. Okay. So any new reference is coming. So it is redirecting that reference and telling them, like, your logic is to add two numbers, right? Go to that method. I'm referring you to that method. Go to that method and you give your numbers, and they will calculate the addition of two numbers and will give it. Okay. So it's like referring. So in your job also, right? When you try to get to a better position in your job, or in different job, if you want to switch. So what do you do basically? You go to LinkedIn and you contact with people, those who are working in that company which you want to go to, and then you tell them, I am having that much experience. I am having experience in Spring Boot, Java, and SQL and all. Please refer to me in your position. Okay. So you tell these things to your LinkedIn family, right? Whoever is working in other companies where you want to go, where you want to switch. So there, what they are doing, the chances of getting selection gets increased because you have been referred by any other person. The same concept, you can understand it here. So any other new variable is coming, or any new business logic requirement is coming. So that method reference will redirect it to that business logic, which is already written, so that we don't have to rewrite again and again. So if you have been referred to in a company, then you will not go to the website of that company and try to apply it by yourself. No, you will not do that, right? Because you have already been referred by your colleague, or you have been referred to by any employee in LinkedIn. Okay, then you don't have to go to specifically to the website of that company and try to apply it again. It's not required. So same thing you can understand like this. So lambda expression, you can understand it like going to the company website and applying through resume. And method reference means you can tell to other person, please refer me. I am having this much experience. If there is any requirement, do let me know or help me to get into the interview process. So then the chances of getting selection where will be more. In the reference, it will be more, because they will refer to that particular person, like he is working here for so much time. So if he is referring to other person, then that person will be having good skills. So your chances of selection will get increased. So here also you can understand it the same way. Method reference is more better as compared to lambda, because there is no usage of any lambda or any business logic you are not writing. You are just letting that reference to refer to the existing logic with the help of double colon operator. Okay. So why to write the logic again and again? Just make it refer to the existing method and your work is done. So this is the way where we are actually referring down to the existing method, and we are calculating the sum of two numbers or any business logic which you want. So this is the method reference concept. Okay. So now let's suppose we have to refer it to the non-static method. How can you refer to non-static method? Is there any way to refer to non-static method? So to refer to non-static method, what you can do, let's suppose I am removing it. So you will see it's showing error. Cannot make a static reference to non-static method. Okay. So now what you can do in this scenario, you have to create the object of this. Okay. So now method reference, you have to change the variable method taking equal to new, like that we can write, and with this reference we can call. Now it's working fine, correct? So now if I run this code, still you will get the same output, right? So there are two ways to do that. Either you can create a static or you can do the non-static. In both ways, this function can be called or it can be referred. The most appropriate word here will be referred. Okay. So this became more simpler, right? With respect to lambda expression, if you compare, this is more simpler and easier to understand. Okay, somewhat if any new person is coming, they will be, if they don't know about lambda, they will be having some difficulty to understand, right? What is arrow function, why we are doing what we are doing. So here it is very simple to understand, like this method is referring to M2. So it will go here M2 and calculate the sum. Simple. Okay. So we don't have to think any other type of scenarios. So this is the method reference. So similar to that, there is something called as constructor reference. So now what is a constructor reference? So same way as method reference, in method reference, what we are doing, we are telling a new reference variable or any existing logic to, they will check whether the logic is already written or not. If it is already written, then they will tell like go to that particular method, refer to that method, and you will get your logic implemented. Okay. So same thing you can do with the help of constructor reference as well. So in constructor reference, there is a class where constructor is already created. Then why you will create a new object again and again? It's not required, right? So it's better to refer to the existing constructor and tell like your class constructor is already written. I am referring to that constructor. Just go there and get the data from their constructor. So it will refer to that constructor and it will get the data. So your job is done. Your main job was to create the object and fetch the data. So that job is being done by method reference without even creation of new object, okay, separately. So we will go to constructor reference here. So here we have to make use of new keyword. Okay, so this is important. So let's suppose I have created one class called sample. Okay, within that sample, there is a constructor which I have created over here. Okay, so there is integer array I have taken 956, and then we have taken optional.off nullable. It will check whether data is null or not. If it is not null, then it will fetch the data. Okay, and then we are printing constructor of sample class. So here this data I'm not storing, so it is of no use as of now. So this data will be printed if this constructor is called. If this constructor is called, then this line will be printed in the console. Okay. So compiler will go to main method. It will check what is written. Sample interface ref equal to sample : new. So what it is doing here, basically you are creating the object of sample class, and we are calling the constructor of the sample class. So we don't have to write separately like sample ref equal to new sample, and then you are storing that reference into the interface reference. No, these all things we're not doing. So those boilerplate codes will be reduced to just one single line, like the class name we have to write, and with the help of new keyword, it will point to the constructor directly. Okay. So this is the interface. Okay, sample interface ref. If you come here, we have written one fetch method. It's abstract method present in this. And the return type is of sample type. Okay, because constructor we are creating of sample type constructor, right? So the data should be of sample type. So fetch method return type should be sample. Okay. So the sample type reference is created to sample : new. So new object will be created, or the constructor will be called here because there is no parameterized constructor. So if we do sample s equal to new sample, what it does, it points to the existing default constructor, right? So here default constructor is already created, and within this only these logics are written. Okay. So with the help of new, it goes to the default constructor, it executes the constructor lines. Whatever lines present in constructor, it will execute it and will store it in the sample interface reference. It's working fine because the fetch method return type is of sample type. That's why it is working fine. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked. Okay, but this is very important. So I will show you in sample interface reference, if I'm not taking sample type, let's suppose I'm taking void type, any other type. Let's see what it happens. Nothing happened here, but if I try to run the code, it's still showing constructor of sample class. Okay, so nothing will happen, but it's basically it should be given sample type, so that type should be specified. Like this reference is consisting of this sample type, so this should be specified properly. Okay, so that's why we have to be assured here that the data coming here is pointing to the constructor of this sample class, and data is returned over here. And with the help of this reference, we are calling the fetch method. Okay. So I hope you have understood the concept. You have understood the whole point. Okay. So let's suppose I am doing implement sample interface reference. Okay. So now it is telling to add an implemented method. So is it required here? No. Why we have to do this? It's not required, right? So we will remove this lines. Okay. So like this, we can implement this. Okay. We have to create one interface reference, and we have to give this fetch method, and from there we will make use of that reference variable, and then with the help of sample : new, you can create a new object of this sample class, and basically it points to the constructor of this sample class, and it will print the lines present in it, and with the help of fetch method we can get the data. Okay, so it didn't return any kind of error, compile time error, because we are not storing. Okay, so let's suppose I want to store the data in sample type, sample, like this I'm doing. Okay, so now if I will change this to void, say it will start throwing error. Change return type of fetch to sample. Understood, right? It's a type mismatch. So before, why error was not coming? Because it was not defined. We are not storing that data into a particular sample reference, so it will not show in type of issue. But here we are storing, so it's better to change the return type to class type. So now the issue will be resolved. Okay, so like this we can implement the constructor reference. Understood the concept? So with this, we have completed around 6 or 7 Java 8 features we have completed, right? We have completed default static. We have completed predefined functional interface like predicate function consumer supply. We have completed optional. Okay. So we have completed with completable future also in the multi-threading class. Okay. We have completed with method reference and constructor reference as well. So only now two things are remaining: Joda datetime and Stream API. So Joda datetime will tell you in the next session, and the Stream API will tell you after teaching you collection framework, because that is important. After collection only you will be able to understand the stream concept. Okay. So I will be uploading it in the same section, the same module in Java 8 features, but you go through streams after completing collections only. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand what is it, what I am teaching you in streams. Okay. So go through it, try to understand the concepts and keep on practicing this. Because if you write it in through your own hands, then only we'll get a clear picture and idea about this. So it's done till now. So we will see you in the next lecture with a new Java 8 feature. So most probably I will be teaching you Joda datetime in the next Java 8 feature. So after that, we will be going towards collection framework concepts in the next module. Okay. So till then, keep on practicing and keep on learning. Stay tuned. Bye.